studies have shown that the first 10 seconds of when someone meets you, they're forming an impression of you visually. And that's really important to know in terms of styling and making an impression, especially first impressions, and putting yourself out there, especially when networking. And unfortunately, people do judge.
Yeah.
We judge other people and other people judge us.
Yeah.
And it's also to do with what they're wearing and what we're wearing. But there are a few tips.
I'm Shreya Parekh, and you're listening to Empower Her, the podcast for busy women aged 35 and beyond. If you're feeling stuck and unfulfilled with your health and wealth, get ready to be empowered to take action. My guests and I will be providing you with knowledge, resources, and ideas to help you broaden your perspectives, learn more about yourself, and define your path to live your absolute best life. Be sure to hit that follow button to stay tuned with Empower Her and check out the valuable free resources available on the website to support your journey. Have you thought about your style when it comes to clothes? The way you dress and the colours you wear can affect your mood and confidence. Join me today with Pooja Adam, a personal stylist who has been in the fashion industry for 18 years and launched Your Style PA services in 2022. Pooja specialises in wardrobe decluttering, personal shopping and colour analysis, and has been seen on Channel 4, Luxury Fashion for Less, and Channel 5's Bicester Village, How Do They Do It? She's also been featured in The Guardian and Grazia magazine. Join us as we delve into why it's important to find your style, what it brings you, and how you can start the process. Get ready to declutter your wardrobe and get some inspiration to find your style. Pooja, welcome to the Empower Her podcast. It's fantastic to have you on. I'm excited to have this conversation with you all about style, something that I'm sure many, many women are keen to understand. Could you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your journey from what you were doing to what you're doing now? That would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Shreya. I'm really excited to be on this podcast. It's my second time doing a podcast.
Oh, great.
So I really think, I really appreciate what you're doing and I love what you're putting out there. So I'm really excited to be on your podcast today. So thanks for having me. So my name's Pooja. For anyone who's not met me before, I am a personal stylist and wardrobe organizer. And I've been in business for 2 years, but I have 18 years worth of fashion experience as my background. And that's a little bit about me to start with.
Yeah. So how did you get into what you're doing now? I know it's your business now. You style people, you declutter people's wardrobes.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that? And what does that involve exactly?
Yeah, so my journey started from when I was unhappy in my retail role. So I used to be a buyer. And I used to buy for sort of luxury women's wear. And I really enjoyed that element of the role. But there were certain things that I didn't enjoy and I didn't quite fit in. So I felt like I had some strengths that worked and then I had other strengths that I wasn't utilizing, like my creativity, for instance. So I ended up quitting my job and not really knowing what I wanted to do, and then ended up starting a blog with my friend. And once I started blogging, I discovered styling and I realized that I was naturally suited to it compared to sort of almost like head office roles. Yeah. So I used all of my experience and contacts from my previous roles and I used them towards making new connections and new sort of associations, and also started reaching out to magazines to work with and started doing styling gigs. And so that's kind of how I got into styling. Okay. And that was probably about 5-6 years ago now. Yeah.
So in terms of style then, I know obviously it's a very big topic, and I know with Empower Her, it's about your health and your wealth. And for me, the way you feel incorporates how you're dressing sometimes. They're kind of linked. And and that kind of feeds into your moods sometimes and how you come across. So what would you say with your style? How would people start thinking about their style? What does that mean? You know, because style can mean, you know, for me, style is like, just clothes.
Yeah.
But then how do you put that together, and how everyone's tastes and the way things fit on people is very, very different.
Yeah. So I would say that a good starting point is to think about who you are and kind of what is your personality. What does your personality encompass? So, for instance, you're a mum, you are working, you are a wife, you are, so many things. And so start to picture how you see yourself visually in terms of your style. So when you think of sort of how you get dressed in the morning, or, when you think of some style icons that you've looked up to, or some celebrities or podcast figures that you kind of really think, I really like what they're doing, pay attention to kind of what they're wearing. Why are you drawn to them? Because actually there's a message in there. And our clothes and the way we dress carry messages. So there's something called enclosed cognition, and it means that we associate symbolism with the way we dress. So that's quite a good starting point to acknowledge the fact that a pair of jeans means something to us. It means we're relaxed, we're fun, we're not taking life too seriously. But a shirt actually represents being formal, being smart. I made the effort today. I want to look polished. Pair your jeans with a t-shirt and you've got sort of a casual day out with family. And pair your jeans with a blazer and you've got, hey, I might be going out today, or I'm going to show up for myself today and I feel smarter, a bit more polished, but I've still got the comfort of my jeans protecting me, reminding me that I'm a casual girl deep down. So clothes do say a lot about who you are. And it's a way to visually represent to the outside world who you are inside.
Is it linked to your mood?
Absolutely. It is linked to your mood. So I face it myself all the time where I've picked out an outfit and I'm going to an event. I'm really excited about it. And on the day, I just don't want to wear that. I just don't. I feel like today, this isn't me.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like you want to uplift your mood. So I will take you through a little bit more about colour when we get to that subject, and using the power of colour to actually transform how you feel through clothes. That's actually really powerful. So one tip I would recommend is if you do want to boost your mood through your clothes, a good tip would be to start with colour.
Okay. So, I think now the way people work, it has changed. A lot of people work from home. And obviously, I know COVID was different. Some people are starting to go back to work a few days. A lot of people are still working from home. I'm at home all the time. And can that affect how I'm working in terms of if I'm dressed in my leggings and a T-shirt or a hoodie, which I am sometimes, as opposed to how I'm dressed now, or maybe even have a dress on or something like that. Can that affect the way I come across for myself? Not perhaps to others, but even how I feel in the house. And is it worth me making that bit of extra effort to actually maybe get dressed even though I'm working from home?
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of fashion psychology studies have shown that clothes actually have a lot of meaning for us. And so, as I mentioned with jeans before, I would probably say that about loungewear too. So in loungewear, you feel comfortable, you feel part of your home, you are your most casual, relaxed self. So when you get up in the morning and you go to work and you're wearing your casual clothes, you are being yourself. But actually, wouldn't you want to have an additional sort of professional armor to you. And the feeling that you get when you sort of made an effort versus when you're slouchy is completely different. And the way you show up for yourself as well is so different. And something great will happen, like someone will compliment you on a video call or say, did you change your hair or something? And then not only will you feel confident because you really showed up for yourself, but someone recognized that too. So it gives you a little kind of mental high five that actually, do you know what? I'm really glad I made the effort today. And I feel professional. It's almost like having a bit of a professional mindset, because for me, when I first started working, because I was balancing being sort of a new mum and starting a business, you know, they were both within very close timings, you know. So not too far apart was my little one, 2 years old, when I started my business, for instance. And so I was balancing sort of working from home, working for myself, and sort of showing up. So what I started doing was I went to the local cafe, which made me feel like I was showing up for myself.
Right.
I separated my personal life from my work life. But it was a simple change. It was maybe for 2 to 3 hours. But that work that I did in that cafe for 2 to 3 hours, dressed like I would if I was going to a cafe, was so much more productive than when I was in my slouchies at home and I had all these distractions around me and all the comforts that I do at home. So there's a huge sort of meaning behind that as well, that sort of clothes can give you a lot of power and they can help you visualize the type of professional person you want to be, even when you're not going to a professional setting. So you can visualize yourself as like, I am a personal stylist. What does a personal stylist look like? Let me go and embody that through working out of a cafe. What will I now feel like? You know, it is actually quite powerful to do that, just to test yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, I'm really bad at that at home. I am just in my joggers and stuff, and it's hard for me. I can't be bothered to make that effort, but I know when I have, I actually feel different sometimes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, about a month ago, my husband was about to have a meeting. It was a very important meeting on Zoom at home. Sorry, it wasn't at Zoom. He decided to have it in the office because it was quite an important meeting, and in a closed space. And he was going to go in with the clothes he normally wears at home, and I don't normally comment on things like this, but I said, look, why don't you put a shirt on, maybe not like a full-on suit, but why don't you put a shirt on and some nice jeans or trousers or something and your shoes? I think it will make a difference with your meeting. And they're from France, and the French with their style. That kind of thing.
Intimidating.
And he was, no, it will be fine. And in the end, he made that change, and he came back and he said, you know what, that I'm so glad you made, not made me, but you made me think about that. And I did that because I felt different, and it actually made a difference to my meeting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I can, I was just saying it, but then that made me think and think, actually, maybe I should take my own advice, to be honest, as well,
That is powerful. I'm glad you shared that, because it is true that you get a feeling from it.
What are your thoughts about, like, on the flip side? Because, we have, some people, I think they're more kind of the tech startups in Silicon Valley, maybe, I don't know for a fact, but a lot of the kind of CEO with the tech startups, they're like, no, we just have the same color t-shirt we wear and the same trousers or jeans we wear every day, so we don't have to think about what we're wearing. That's that kind of thing, and they rock up with just that on every day. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so there was actually something really powerful about that. I think it was someone like who's that really? I want to say not Bill Gates, but who was the one who invented the iPhone? There
Oh
was
yeah, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
So Steve Jobs used to have a uniform of pretty much like t-shirt and
Yeah.
shorts or whatever he was, and what that did was, so actually I do have something really interesting about this. So Steve Jobs, he used to have this sort of uniform of shorts and t-shirt, and that's how he used to dress every day. And the meaning behind that was that it took him less time to get ready because it delegated one aspect of his heavy load.
Yeah.
So that was his uniform. That's how he showed up for himself. And I respect that, because taking the time out to make a part of your life easier is what I'm all about, especially for professional women when I help sort of do their personal styling for them. I would highly recommend sort of having a capsule wardrobe. So you could pretty much take that theory and apply it to what people talk about is a capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
So essentially that was Steve Jobs's capsule wardrobe. Yeah. And I respect that. And I respect the tech startups, and I understand where they're coming from. Because when you have your capsule, let's say we've built you a capsule wardrobe of 10 to 12 items, you will now have the confidence that that is your personal branding. That is how you should, feel good about yourself. With every piece, you can mix and match them. And it eliminates the stress of getting ready. So actually, if someone could help you do that, you probably would take that option.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the main takeaways from that sort of, your style might be slouchy, your style might be casual or loungewear, and that represents you within your professional life. So actually, I try to incorporate elements of that within your personal branding when I take you through your personal style. So you could work with both, if that makes sense. I know it sounds weird because it's the last thing you want a stylist to say.
Yeah.
But actually it's powerful because it creates your personality and people will remember you for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would save time. I know when as soon as I open my wardrobe, it actually, I don't get stressed, but I think, what shall I wear? And then, sometimes 20 minutes later, I'm still deciding and trying things on. Or shall I wear this? Shall I wear this one with it? Shall I do this with it? And it's frustrating.
Absolutely.
It's frustrating for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because I've just got a whole mishmash of clothes going on, and all those combinations could go, and I just don't know where to start and what to do.
Absolutely. Do you know, you're not the only one that feels like that. Actually, a lot of people that come to me feel like that about their own wardrobes. They feel like they're bursting at the seams. They feel like when they open their wardrobe, they can't find what they're looking for, but they're not sure when they last wore it. They don't remember that they've got pieces with tags on them. They don't remember, kind of like... I think the main theme here is that we collect things as we get older. We have different forms of our lives reflected within our wardrobes. So we're always going through different phases. So our 20s are in there somewhere, our 30s are in there, and our 40s are... mine are starting to be in there. So I would say that one of those things is that because it's almost like your wardrobe carries all these messages. So it creates confusion. So it's my job to help you refine that down, to remove the noise and sort of declutter and refine it down so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed by your closet. And obviously capsule dressing really helps with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you be that person that, sometimes you want to just be in your leggings and a t-shirt or a hoodie, and sometimes you want to be in your jeans and a shirt or whatever, and sometimes you want to be in jeans that are like really out there and stand out.
Yeah.
And that maybe transpires into your evening wear as well sometimes. And then sometimes your evening wear could look really plain and simple, maybe elegant or sophisticated, whatever, you know. What does that mean for? I mean, I'm kind of describing myself here a little bit, because sometimes, you know, I'll try on a pair of trousers or jeans, like patent, black patent, you know, and my kids will be like, "Mum, what are you wearing?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, what do you know, I like it. Don't you think it looks, you know," or something quite out there. And then sometimes I'll be like in a real kind of sophisticated mood and wear a very simple black dress or a beige dress that's just simple, cut nicely, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could.
Is that normal, or is that me just kind of going all over the place?
I think you can wear many hats, and you can create parts of your personality through what you wear. So actually you're describing that brilliantly, because you're saying that sometimes I'm actually going for adventurous. Sometimes I'm going for, I'm sexy today. You know, I'm cute today, and this is what cute looks like on me. And today I'm fun and playful because I'm seeing the girls. You know, whatever it is that you're dressing for, you will then embody that within your styling. And it's a natural thing, because you're going to be gravitating towards certain pieces that make you feel good, because those clothes carry messages for you. And they say, do you know what? This is fun, Shreya. This is going out, Shreya. She's looking good today. She's going to pick this dress. So yeah, definitely. And I would encourage that you do that till you find the right mix that really works for you. And the more confident you feel in those styles, I would say do that more, because you'll have your own signature forming within those pieces.
No, that's good, because I think a lot of people, you know, they have a mixture of clothes, you know, like I kind of described, and then sometimes, you know, they might look back and think, hold on, what am I doing here? Like, what message am I portraying? Like, sometimes I'm wearing this, sometimes I'm wearing that. And, you know, not that I'm trying to portray a message, but it kind of, my wardrobe looks confusing sometimes. And maybe that's why I feel like, you know, I'm confused, or people get confused because their wardrobe's so confusing. You know, they've got their loungewear or whatever, and then they've got their fun wear, and then they've got their super sophisticated look wear and that kind of thing.
No, I think it can be confusing, and I think until you go through your style and what it feels like to have your current personal brand as it is, and how you want to embody that, I think it is a bit difficult to whittle down what feels right for you, because I wear a few hats. So on, you know, Thursdays I've got my day off with my toddler, so I'll be really casual. So I would probably be rocking a hoodie on those days, you know. So I laugh at myself because I don't wear much makeup that day, and then the next day I could be going to London Fashion Week. So I actually laugh at myself in those moments because I'm too extremes. And then on the weekend, I might be going to an Indian event. So we do wear many hats, and our clothes definitely have to reflect that and sort of pull out those elements that sort of embody those personalities that we're, you know, adapting at the time.
So how do you get that all into a capsule?
You can, I promise you. It's, actually, when we go through a few style tips, I'll take you through the starting points, which will really help you. And you and I are going to go away and talk further about your style.
Oh God. Okay, thank you.
So we'll talk more. I'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your view on people judging you based on how you look? And I don't mean, I'm talking about what you wear, essentially, because I think people do that. No matter what people say, I think people will judge you, whether it's conscious or unconscious. They will, you know, whether you're in that meeting or at that party or at that conference or at a speaking event, whatever that might be, you know, doing this podcast, whatever, you know,
Absolutely.
they may judge you on what you're wearing, not intentionally always, but it's just somewhere there in the back of your mind. And do you think people should therefore adapt their style, knowing that perhaps they may be judged more favorably or not if you're in a certain situation? Like, for example, you know, if you want to go to a conference and you want to get business in that conference, if you're wearing leggings and a hoodie, that might not go down well, because unfortunately people might look at you and judge you. You know, we've all been judged. I've been there as well myself. Whereas opposed to if you go there wearing, you know, something smart or professional looking, they may approach you and do business with you. Do you think you should actually adapt to dress for success, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very mindful of your audience as well, because you're talking to professional women.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is that studies have shown that the first 10 seconds of when someone meets you, they're forming an impression of you visually. And that's really important to know in terms of styling and making an impression, especially first impressions, and putting yourself out there, especially when networking. So you want to make sure that within those 10 seconds, and unfortunately, people do judge.
Yeah.
We judge other people and other people judge us.
Yeah.
And it's also to do with what they're wearing and what we're wearing. But there are a few tips. So, for instance, show up for yourself. Feel smart. What does smart look like to you? Think of people that you look up to in the business world. Who are your sort of icons? What are they wearing? How do they look? How do you perceive them? And start to think about your own wardrobe and what's going on in there, and how could you embody them through what you're wearing. So that's another tip. The other thing I would say is that studies have shown in fashion psychology that luxury items hold higher social status.
Yeah.
So when people see you wearing luxury items, they judge you, but they also feel like a lower social status because they can't match that, or they might not be matching it at the time.
Yeah.
So actually, if you incorporate one element of luxury to your look, it would actually raise your game, your styling game. And then there's a few other tips that I would say. For instance, taking yourself and doing power poses. So one of my big tips, especially for women in business, is to try out some power poses before you go to a networking event.
Okay.
So you can Google them. And basically, they really help you with imposter syndrome. So what you could do is sort of power dress and power pose. These are two very important things to remember, especially when sort of putting yourself out there and feeling really nervous about sort of projecting yourself. So it gives you a little bit of body armor and style armor. So power dressing, we all know, comes from the 80s. So we're talking higher shoulders. We're talking, details, anything that anything that represents suiting. So nowadays, not a lot of people love wearing suits, but you will see some gorgeous, like, two-piece orange suits, green suits. Like, you've seen it on sort of, Dragon's Den, or, what's the other one after Dragon's Den?
Apprentice.
Yeah, you've seen on Apprentice, like, you can really play to sort of power suiting, but make it more sort of adaptable to how people dress, now. So let's talk about, from the 80s, it used to be like power shoulders and menswear, but now women will wear a mix of sort of what looks like a bit of menswear mixed in with feminine colours. So actually, I would say power suiting is really powerful to help you go into your networking session. And then I would say power posing before you get there. Sort of look into the mirror and practice 3 to 4 power poses. And, you know, it's almost like looking at yourself in like a strong way and like making yourself like feel and look powerful. It actually sends a positive message to your brain and it makes you feel more powerful.
Right.
And then you go there to your event feeling a lot more sort of ready to take it on. So I love that. You know, I think I would really encourage you to try them for your next event.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually puts a light bulb in my brain. I interviewed a guest, Hélène Guillaume. I hope I'm saying it right again. And she's a founder of Wild AI, and she appeared on Dragon's Den, and she did this amazing power pose right there in front of all the dragons with this white shirt on like this, you know, throughout the whole thing, answering the questions. Absolutely fantastic. You should watch.
Wow.
You should watch that power pose.
I need
just
to watch
amazing.
her.
Yeah.
And I need to recommend that when I'm talking about it.
Yeah. I don't know how she managed to do it, but I was watching that. I was thinking, wow, God, she looks good. Like she's ready to do business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll check her out.
Yeah. Check that out. It's still on YouTube, I think. But yeah, you can have a look at the episode as well. So with colour then, because I find that's a difficult one. You know, a lot of people perhaps maybe stick to the blacks, the greys, the beige, the whites, and introducing a colour can feel a bit not sure about that. What tips have you got on colour and just kind of general styling tips really for women, like busy women, okay? You know, wake up, haven't really got much time, have to get into work or have to do the school drop off, come back, get changed, whatever, however that can, you know, pans out for women out there. But if you're busy, you've got lack of time, you know, haven't got time on your hand. What tips would you give with your styling, the colours and...
Yeah, absolutely. So what I would say is with colour, I have a lot to say about colour. So I'm going to start off by saying that I've studied colour analysis, and colour analysis is a really powerful tool to help you understand the colours that are best suited for you. And the way it works is that, you know, when you go to a makeup counter and you're picking your foundation, it's just as important to get your colours analysed as it is to get your foundation right. So it's that moment where you find out whether you're a warm tone or a cool tone. That's exactly kind of what colour analysis does. So the power of colour analysis is that you get to be wearing the colours that bring out your undertones, which then makes you look like the brightest, most fresh version of yourself. It makes you radiant and glowing. And if you're wearing the wrong colours, it actually draws the attention away from your sort of skin, and it actually takes the colour away from you. So it almost like drains your colour. So your circles will be darker, you know, you have shadows. It could be, you know, freckles or pimples, like they could be emphasised more when you're wearing the wrong colour.
Okay.
So wearing the right colours could actually be as beneficial as having a facelift because underneath, as the base layer, you've got your colours right. So actually your skin has a natural glow. And then on top of that, if you put your makeup, you look fantastic, you know. So actually colour analysis is really powerful. And then what I then go on to say is that once you know your colours, you could basically know that every time you're going out there, you look your best. And when you're wearing your worst colours, people might say to you, are you feeling okay? Are you, you know, were you sick or something? When you're wearing your best colours, people say, have you had a haircut? Do you? There's something different about you. So actually, that's what I love about colour analysis. It's almost like a secret tip to kind of looking your best without trying
Yeah.
too hard.
Yeah.
So then following on from that and going to your more practical side of colour analysis. So I have studied colour quite a lot. So there are loads of tips that I could give you in terms of sort of which colours suit people. So what I would say is that there are some universal colours that really go well on pretty much every person. So one of those is blue. So I would definitely encourage you to wear more blue. So blue holds a calming sort of psychological effect on people. And I would say that if you're going to a job interview or if you're going to present yourself and you're really nervous about sort of showing up, either wear blue or green, because green is calming. It sort of makes you feel more relaxed, and it makes the viewer, whoever's looking at you, feel more relaxed as well. And blue, it represents sort of confidence, and it's the universal favorite color. So you're going to be attracting sort of that like versus like. So when people see you in blue, they trust you. And you also feel quite calm because it's a relaxing color.
Any shade of blue? Or
yeah.
Does it depend on your skin tone? Are we talking like navies?
So you'll probably have things that you've worn for years that are blue in your closet. So start with those. And obviously, when you do colour analysis, you can take it in deeper.
Funny thing is, I don't really wear blue, to be honest. I've never thought about wearing blue. Maybe I used to in the early days when I worked at the corporate kind of, but I don't really have any blues. Something to think about for sure. But I do love greens.
Absolutely.
I have more greens.
Okay.
I love greens.
Well, there you go. You've got a starting point.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something that makes you really nervous and showing up for yourself professionally, you probably want to wear green. So when I was on TV for the first time, I wore a green blazer, a bright green blazer, and it really helped me to feel relaxed and a little bit calmer because I was very nervous. And it just neutralized me, and it gave me my armor. So I knew I was wearing something that would psychologically help me. So I thought, why not? You know. So another thing I have to say about color, which is really interesting, is that long wave colors such as red, orange, and yellow, they trigger the nervous system to be more excited. So they are the colours that will give you energy. So if you want to, so if you're having a day where you have no energy, you don't want to show up for yourself, you're tired, and you have to do this one quick interview or this quick Zoom call, wear red, orange, or yellow because it will give you energy.
Right.
And you know, we all have those days, you know, hormonal times as well, where we are lacking energy. I would definitely recommend to wear these long wave colours because they add this, they send this message to your nervous system to give you energy. So the other colours I'd recommend are short wave colours. So they're what I've mentioned before. So your blues and greens and purples are basically shortwave colours, and they send a message to your nervous system to calm down. So when you're feeling nervous, or, you know, when you're going for an interview, I would incorporate elements of those colours. Now, the next question you're going to ask me is, how would I wear purple to a job interview? So because of colour psychology and your body and your brain knowing what you're doing, you're always sending messages to your brain. So with colour psychology, you can use that to your advantage. So let's say you've got purple underwear. You could wear purple underwear inside a very boring business suit. But you know you've done something to remind yourself to calm down.
Right.
So actually, that's quite powerful. There is a story where I read recently that there was a famous, I think she was a news reporter, and she was going to different countries and being in completely different sort of environments with her job. And she used to always wear French lace underwear because it made her feel sexy.
Yeah.
And she knew she was doing that for herself. So she might be in like near a volcano that's about to erupt, but she showed up for herself by wearing something that made her feel confident.
Yeah.
And she did that for herself. And it was her little secret, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
don't...
Not anymore.
Don't undervalue the power of underwear as well. Yeah.
I never thought about that actually with the underwear because, you just... but yeah, as long as your brain links it to that and you know, and only you know, then that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Psychologically, you can tell your brain these messages. So why not take advantage of that? Because it's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where does black and white and beige fit into all this then?
So what I would say is that it's a very cultural thing. So a lot of people feel confident in muted colours and in sort of, I think people love wearing... I think people have almost a capsule of like black, white, beige, grey.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's that whole thing,
beige.
you know, the little black dress or that black dress that, you know, the black cocktail dress or, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could talk about it for hours, but in summary, black carries a meaning. So, you know, in different cultures, black carries a meaning. So, for instance, you might associate black with funerals. You might associate black with professionalism. You might associate black with fashion in the 1920s. You might associate black with, you know, film and TV. So it is a smart colour. People feel very smart and safe in black. So it's almost like a bit of an armour for them. But what I'd say is that knowing what we know about colour psychology, people aren't doing themselves a huge favour by wearing black sometimes because they're not making the most of the colours that might suit them.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that if you do, you know, start to experiment with colour and try to find the best colours for you, don't believe that there's no such thing as sort of a red shade for you or a pink shade for you or a purple shade for you. A lot of people believe that they don't suit colour, and I think that that's just because they don't know which colours to wear. And so once you find out whether you're sort of warm or cool, you pretty much have a formula that you can wear red, but actually wear a cool red, you know, with a little bit of blue tone in it, because that's going to complement you. And why not, you know? So actually, I think that people hide a bit behind neutral colours quite a lot because they're not sure what to wear. And it's so understandable, and they've done it for years. A lot of people will say to me, oh, I just wear black. Guess what? When I go into their wardrobes, I don't see a lot of black. I see a portion of it, like 10%. There's a lot of colour in there. And I think you don't realise how much colour you actually do wear. And that actually it makes you feel better. Makes you feel good.
Or they're just wearing the black and the colours are just there. It was one of those purchases that sometimes you make and think, oh, I'd love to wear this, or I'll wear this one day, and then you never quite quite wear it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. So I know that you also kind of go in there and declutter people's wardrobes. How important is that to have a clutter-free wardrobe? And generally, you know, I guess that kind of pans into your life, you know, clutter-free life with wherever you're living as well. And what does that do for you when you do have a clutter-free wardrobe?
Yeah. So what I start off by saying is that I'm sure you've heard of Marie Kondo and sort of the Marie Kondo method, because if you haven't, please do check it out.
I don't.
So check out the Marie Kondo method. So it's about folding systems and creating an organizational method within your wardrobe. And it's about having pretty much everything that you need in there, but decluttering and minimizing. So that's like a really good starting point if anybody's considering sort of decluttering. And then the why behind decluttering, if you ever want to kind of go a bit deeper into understanding that, there's a really good documentary on Netflix called The Minimalists.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
So just a small takeaway from that, because it really embodies what I do with people and their wardrobes. So what I recommend is twice a year, go through your wardrobe, and go through a declutter, a proper one. Just do it twice a year, and that's all you need. Spring, summer, and autumn, winter. Because what it then does, it takes out decision fatigue. It makes a stress-free environment for you. For busy people, the last thing you want to have is sort of, what do I wear? Where's the last time I saw my straight pair of trousers? Why don't I have two of these? You want to eliminate all that, because we're too busy for that. We're getting busier as time goes on. So why not give yourself a little bit of a head start by taking out the things in your wardrobe you're not wearing all the time? Do you know, people have things in their working wardrobe, because I call it a working wardrobe versus a sort of, before I get there, wardrobe. I pretty much make everyone work towards their working wardrobe, which means this is what I'm wearing during the week, and loungewear can be separate. So when I look at people's wardrobes as they are before the process, there'll be things like the graduation dress I wore, something I wore to a really important work event, my black tie dress, fail safe. Why are they in your working wardrobe? 9 to 5, every, 5 days a week, you're looking at your wardrobe. Why can't you have just what you need for your everyday in your working wardrobe? This is the huge benefit of having a declutter session, because if you have everything there that you need, you don't need to look for it. It's there, it's ready, waiting. And everything else that doesn't belong in your working wardrobe, including occasion wear, gym, lounge wear, all of that can go to the side. Sentimental items that we hold on to, gifts, holiday purchases, holiday beachwear does not belong in the UK for the majority of the year. So take those out and put them away into a different compartment, in a suitcase somewhere, in a different room, in storage, it doesn't matter. But actually, when you go through your wardrobe, you realize all the sentimental value that you're holding on to, all the different phases in your life. And when we declutter them, it's almost like you have so much clarity, and it just really helps you move forward as to kind of who you want to be and how you can reflect that within your wardrobe. It's powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it can be. I mean, for me, I think I hold on to things because I think, oh, I might just wear that at some point. And I don't want to get rid of it for wasting money and all of these things. And then I think, oh, I might wear it, and I never do. I never do. And I suppose, you can think, when was the last time I wore it? And if it's not within the year, then really, do you need it?
That's it. That's exactly what I say during my wardrobe sessions. And people hold a higher perceived value of items that are sat in their wardrobe. Because if you look at the resale market and you look at resale value, it's always lower than your perceived value that you've given an item. So actually have a think about that and assess what's going on in there. Like every now and then when you'll do your hair or you'll go through your makeup and you'll clear out the bits that are sort of outdated or colours you don't wear anymore. Think about that with your wardrobe as well, to kind of have a little bit of a sense check to see what's in there. Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Pooja, I'm a huge advocate for collaboration. Are there any collaboration opportunities you're looking for right now, personally or professionally?
Yeah, I mean, just anyone that sort of really wants to look more into color analysis and wardrobe decluttering.
Yeah.
I definitely love to connect with sort of professionals as well, like because I do talks, so I could do style talks, like corporate style talks, for instance.
Yeah.
Definitely should reach out to me
Yeah.
if you're listening. That would be great. And yeah, I mean, it's just been great to connect with you today.
Yeah.
I have some fashion do's and don'ts for you, actually.
Yeah, and that was my next question. What are your top 3 tips for busy women with their style? And I guess, you've gone through tips with decluttering, so more kind of style, but yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. So I did prepare some that I thought were really important to mention.
Yeah.
So there's the Saturday rule. So if you're shopping for something and you've got it in your basket online, presumably, and you're online shopping, it's late at night and you're so excited about it, you're going to get a dopamine hit as soon as you press click and it arrives the next day. There's a Saturday rule that you need to start applying.
Okay.
Do you still like it on Saturday? That's the rule. It's very simple, but actually it makes you realize how much you're buying that just to kind of get that little kick.
Right.
And you're probably feeling down about yourself. You're probably like, oh, I just really had a crap day. Why don't I buy these gorgeous pair of socks that are going to cost me 30 quid with full embellishment? I'm going to wear them this weekend and they're going to make me feel great. So I would definitely do the Saturday rule because it helps you realize whether you actually want it or not. Because it might just be a psychological thing. A lot of people turn to fashion, turn to shopping for that dopamine kick and they want to feel good. So the Saturday rule is number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is a 1 in, 1 out policy. So please start that within your own wardrobe immediately.
Yeah.
I would say that when you buy something, bring it in and preferably within that category, if you could take something out. And this is great for if you have capsule pieces that you've had for a long time. So if you have the best denim jeans that you've had for 10 years and you replace them, try to get rid of the old ones, But actually that's capsule dressing because those are pieces that you genuinely need. But then think about other things like, oh, I bought this blazer. So actually that belongs in the jacket category. What jackets aren't you wearing at the moment? Or what jackets haven't you worn for a while? Why don't you assess them, try them all on, check the quality, look at sort of the armholes, does it look fine? Check yourself in the mirror and see if actually you could get rid of one jacket when you bring one in.
Yeah.
So that's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next thing I would say is don't underestimate the value of sort of looking at your personal style and looking at your personal grooming, right? So when you've had your hair cut or, when you've shaved your legs, you feel good about yourself. You're going to wear that skirt. Your legs are out because it's spring and, at the moment it's summer and you're going to get your legs out soon. So actually don't underestimate the value of sort of body confidence within styling because it's really important. You might have had your lashes lifted or, your eyebrows done. How good do you feel? It's the same thing because actually now you're going to wear your nice t-shirt that day because you feel good and you show up for yourself better when you make more sort of effort within your personal grooming. So don't undervalue that. And then I would say one of my other tips as well is to basically it's the funniest thing, but it's gone viral recently, so I have to mention it. So when you buy a dress and it comes with a belt. Right. Do you know this?
No.
Okay. So when you buy, I'll send it to you. So when you buy a dress and it comes with a belt, you get belt loops on the side, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the simplest and easiest things you can do for yourself is that not everybody has the same body or has the same waist in the same place. So if you cut off those belt loops, you can actually put the belt exactly where you want it. So the first thing you do when you get a new dress with belt loops, cut off your belt loops, because then you can wear your belt exactly where you want to wear it and feel good about it, because that's where your waist nips in. It might not be where the waist
on the dress.
where they are. The loops might be further down on your hips. They might be too high for you. So actually it's so simple, and stylists would know that, but you wouldn't know that because you've not really thought about it, if that makes sense.
No, I wouldn't have thought
but
about
apparently this is like really a big deal on socials. So and don't underestimate the power of colour. Definitely, I think it's an important one. And power dressing and power posing.
Perfect.
So hopefully I've given you some great takeaways.
Absolutely. And obviously, if people want some more style tips, to take a look at your website. All the details, of course, will be in the show notes, and they can connect with you if they would like to get some tips and declutter their wardrobe and all sorts with their style.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Pooja, thank you so much for being on the Empower Her podcast. It's been great to have you on.
It's been really fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Empower Her. I hope today's episode has left you feeling inspired and motivated to make a positive difference in your world. Please follow the podcast and share it with anyone who will find it helpful. Until next time, keep striving for positive change and greatness for all women.